Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this week's weekly recap of the news as has been presented on this channel. So a regular fixture now, this Sunday glossary that we recap the week in the news with our 5 curated videos from the channel. So we get straight into it, and we're going to the Lekki Tollgate incident again as the kickoff. DJ Swift is who we're going to meet and discuss. DJ Swift was one of the prominent names of that Lekki Tollgate incident. In fact, she live streamed some of the incidents to about 400,000 odd people. So as a result of this lady is now a wanted woman within the Nigerian space, to the point that the Canadians have had to intercede. All of that is detailed in this first video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, we are now starting to see the fallout of the NSAS protest, with the lead people of that protest being picked up one by one at airports and everywhere, and their accounts being frozen, etc. Now there was a video circulating. In fact, it was news all over the place, not just a video. There was a news item circulating a couple of days ago with the Inspector General of Police, Adamu, going around particularly all the stations, all the units within the southern regions, and gathering his men and telling them that, look, if there's any further activities, you have rifles so you can use them, so you have weapons so you can use them. So effectively a shoot order he's giving the police now as a panacea, as the counterweight, as the way that the police unit should approach people protesting. So now you can see now the gatherings of the dark forces against this NSAS movement. As guys, I bring you this breaking: Canada grants asylum to hashtag NSAS protester DJ Swift. So one of the premier names, one of the prominent names of that NSAS protest was of course DJ Swift. We all remember that she was at the very heart of that Lekki Tollgate incident, live streaming what was going on to the world, to the point that almost in excess, in fact, of 400,000 people were watching her live stream as the army opened fire on the protesters. So now they've been circling around her ever since, and she's been getting all this sort of messagings from dark anonymous forces, making all manners of threats towards her. As again, breaking: Canada grants asylum to hashtag NSAS protester DJ Swift. So now let's now see how this pans out. Canada has granted asylum to DJ Swift, the hashtag NSAS protester who streamed live the shooting that happened at Lekki Tollgate in Lagos State. DJ Swift has reportedly relocated to Canada after several attempts on her life after the killing of peaceful hashtag NSAS protesters in Lekki. The sensational disc jockey revealed that soldiers shot at peaceful hashtag NSAS protesters at Lekki Tollgate, Lagos, and stated that they were sent to the protest ground on orders from above. She made this known whilst speaking with the subcommittee on international human rights of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Development of the Canadian Parliament. Swift recounted the incident that led to the death of about a dozen protesters at Lekki Tollgate. She noted that the military opened fire on the protesters after creating a 3-formation line, debunking claims by the Nigerian army that soldiers fired blank bullets into the air. According to correspondence, she told the Canadian Parliament that she counted not less than 7 persons short, adding that one of the soldiers threatened to shoot her. She added that the first gunshot was heard from behind, adding that it was chaotic as people were running in different directions so as not to be hit by a bullet, until it was announced that protesters should lie on the ground. I remember the military came in first. They stopped shooting at some point, and I walked up to one of them and I asked why he was shooting at us, and he said he had expressed orders from above. and I was coming too close to him, and if I come too close, it will be considered an attack on him, and he would have to shoot. It didn't take another 10 minutes. The shooting started again. I remember seeing 7 people that have been shot down, and we were telling people on my live Instagram to help call an ambulance. I have been on the move because they have been after my life. The first threat came in. I thought it was a joke. I sincerely thought it was a joke. Just as I was leaving, I got a phone call that I should leave the vicinity because there are military men at the hospital. I had to abandon my home. I had to move from people's home and then just get out of Nigeria. I am still traveling and I am not done with my trip. So this is now this girl now in the custody of Justin Trudeau, and good luck to her, and thank you to Justin Trudeau at least for rescuing this girl. But there you have it now. People were demonstrating. We have to recap on this because people were demonstrating, and they were demonstrating against the hard-pressed life that they are having to experience under the Buhari regime. Because as you well know, as we all know, as bad as things were under Goodluck Jonathan, things were never anything like we're experiencing in Nigeria today. Even we didn't have the imagination that Nigeria could be as it is now. They've just regressed this country completely back to like some brutish, primitive sort of experience, some sort of existential, some sort of a state of nature sort of experience is what we are now going through within the Nigerian space, where might is right, where the powerful overwhelm the weaker ones, and you just use brute force to get your way. This is what is going on in Nigeria now, and this was what that peaceful protest was against. So now for having the temerity now to protest against what now was an existential threat to their very being as human beings, people are now being rounded up, being waylaid in banks and airports, and now this lady is having to flee to Canada for her life. And believe you me, this girl, she's not just running to Canada for an opportunity to just escape to the abroad. I don't think she's the sort of person that especially wants to go and live in some abroad, because she has a thriving music career, she has a media personality, she's a presenter on radio, so she has a fantastic life within the Nigerian space. She's part of this emerging new age socialites that are emerging out of the social media sort of experience, the social media space. So she's part of this new age socialite now that are creating a new experience, a new dynamic within the Nigerian, especially the Lagos social space. So she's at the forefront of that, and I don't really think that going to Canada serves her any other purpose. But she has to be alive first for her to then be a socialite in any space. So it is now, as I said, an existential situation within the Nigerian space where people are now battling for the most basic of our right, the right to live, to the point now that this girl had to flee. She says she's still traveling, so clearly I'm not quite sure if she has now, well, if she's addressing the Canadian parliament, then she must have landed already in Canada. But then of course you can imagine the journey to get her to Canada, because I don't think she'll be going there through any conventional means, any conventional route. And if you are querying what I'm saying, then go speak to lawyer Modupe Odele, who tried to go to the Maldives just for a few weeks to clear her head, and she was but she wasn't picked up, but certainly her passport was seized at the airport. So they are now imprisoning effectively the NSAS protesters within the Nigerian borders, so that they can then pick them up one by one and to disappear and not to be seen anymore. So not to disappear and not to be seen anymore is now measures that DJ Swift is taking, to the point now that she has cried out to Justin Trudeau, and he, of course, has come to our rescue. So the Canadians, of course, will make great hay of this, that they have rescued this young lady from the clutches of the Malami, and I hope they do make a great play of it, because we need international focus on what is going on in Nigeria. But then, of course, we needed Trump to be in place, because Trump doesn't really give a you know what. But then this Biden, the guy that looks a bit like he has dementia, I don't know how that plays out for Nigeria. But that is an aside. But the main thrust of this video is that DJ Swift has now felt the need to escape Nigeria, to flee for her life. In Canada now she is granted asylum. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of this now DJ Swift having to flee Nigeria to Canada to go and seek asylum. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So we're still, of course, within the Nigerian landscape. To the north, we're going to this time around. Buba Galadima is the person speaking, and is saying to Buhari that he himself, that is Buhari himself, will be the cause of a revolution within the Nigerian space. Confused? Well, all of that is detailed in this next video. So enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, this Operation Rescue Nigeria that we're embarked upon is not going to be an easy task. I think we all know that. These people that we're contending with, they are going to demand a very heavy price, and we all also know what that price is. And some of that price, by the way, is already been paid at Lekki Toll Gate. So a heavy price, as guys, I bring you this, Buhari's regime setting stage for revolution. Buba Galadima is the person saying this, and I think we're all agreed that this is exactly what these people are doing. From the body language and their activities, I think that all lends itself to this headline: Buhari's regime setting stage for revolution, a headline attributed to Buba Galadima. So now let's now see what the gentleman has to say. A member of the Board of Trustees of the All Progressive Congress and former ally of the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, Buba Galadima, has said the hashtag #EndSARS protest removed the cloak of invincibility from the Buhari regime. Galadima also said the regime was setting the stage for a revolution in the country. He said this in an interview with correspondents in Abuja on Friday. Galadima also berated northern governors over what he described as their shameless declaration that the youth-led protest, which was engineered by injustice meted out to them by the regime and its enablers, was an attempt to force a regime change. According to him, unless those in government were playing ostrich, the #EndSARS protest went beyond seeking an end to police brutality. He stressed that Nigerian youths were demanding an end to the systematic corruption in public service and the exclusion of qualified Nigerians from access to existing opportunities. Galadima said, when #EndSARS started, they didn't know that the sons and daughters of the average Nigerians who couldn't get food to eat could make them lose sleep. They have just seen a tip of the iceberg. They are leading this country into a revolution that they don't want to accept. They are the people causing the revolution by excluding, disenfranchising people, not on the basis of competence, but on the basis of they don't belong. That is why we need a leader that is a large-hearted Nigerian who will carry us along. Do they know one of my friend's sons wanted to join the police force? He was asked by these faceless people to pay an amount of money before he was recruited. My friend told his son, even if I had the money, I wouldn't pay. Besides, I don't even have the money. If you are recruited because I paid the money, you are also going in there to help yourself make the money back. Galadima alleged that promotion in the civil service had become cash and carry, arguing that it could cost up to 5 million to move from deputy director to director, 2 million to rise from assistant director to deputy director, and between 500,000 naira to 1 million naira to move from level 15 to level 16. He also accused some civil servants of taking vacancies to the National Assembly members, making it difficult for anyone not connected to the National Assembly members to get the job. He said, "Now I have about 7 children with master's degrees. I have medical doctors, but none of them could be employed into the public service because I don't have the money to give. Even my friends in the government are running away from me because they don't want to be seen with me, let alone for me to ask for a favor." A favor from a government formed by Buhari, whom I worked more than any human being, including Buhari himself, to bring into office, that I can't bring even a son or a daughter to be employed. Or my daughter could work in the presidential villa for 4 years without salary, not 1 penny. If they claim they don't know, they will read it in the papers now. Let's see whether they pay her. Responding to allegations by northern governors that the #EndSARS protest was an attempt by some elements to force a regime change, Galadima explained that whilst the governors were entitled to their democratic rights to hold an opinion and share same, it is shameful of them that when their kith and kin are being killed in Borno, Zamfarawa, Kano, Yobe, Adamawa, Katsina, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano, Kebbi, and Niger, they had no guts to come out and allow their people to protest, because the primary responsibility of every government is to protect the lives and property of the citizens. In this respect, the government at all levels, including the states in the north, have failed. Youths who are victims of police brutality came out to protest. Is that wrong? And some people now come out to say they want to overthrow the government. He said the youth protest had made the regime jittery and that its feeling of invincibility disappeared. They melted like oil on fire. Galadima, who is the former national secretary of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change, further said, "For me, the governors should be ashamed of themselves. Why couldn't they protest to the president because he is one of their own? Why can't they encourage their people? That is why they prefer to keep their people in ignorance and abject poverty so that they can continue to appeal to their sentiments." We also know that some clergymen were commissioned and paid humongous amounts of money to be preaching in mosques about this. Hunger, deprivation, poverty, and disease does not know tribe or religion. So Galadima shooting from the hip, as he often does, and a lot of things that he has to say, I don't think too many people can disagree. But the one takeaway really is the headline that these people are setting the stage for a revolution, because you have to understand that what underpins the EndSARS movement is people now being pushed to the wall. The Nigerian existence for the average Nigerian is becoming unbearable. So look at it. Let's take the average. Let's use an average government worker as a test case. So his salary is about 30,000 thereabout, 30,000 naira a take-home pay for a full-grown man with a family. So that is his take-home pay. So out of that take-home pay, he pays his rent, he caters for his family, but then he's struggling as it is, and of course is making the most of whatever position he occupies within the government. He's not going to pass your file to Oga unless you part with 5,000-10,000 naira, and you can't blame him too much, because you yourself know that 30,000, you have just spent 30,000 naira for lunch, and you are going to the office to complain that the person that is being paid 30,000 naira a month is asking you for bribe. If it's not asking you for bribe, then how would he survive? So already they are pushed to the wall, and now the squeeze goes even further. So let's now assume that your 30,000 naira man is not taking bribe and is just living at the barest minimum of survival. So he's living at that level. Now you suddenly in the midst of a situation that the country is already the poverty capital of the world, you suddenly, in one stroke of the pen, increased the price of electricity and petrol by 100%. So what does that mean? The transportation, the downfall that is now taking this man from his home to his office, where he used to pay 100 naira a trip, is now 200 naira a trip. So the NEPA bill that is paying 1,000 naira a month, a week, or however the charges are, is now 2,000 naira. But that 30,000 naira that he is already struggling, that he cannot fend, is now being taxed even more. So the poverty increases by just one stroke of the pen, and you are now asking why people are protesting, that they are trying to change the regime. So no, they are not trying to change the regime, although they do want the regime to change. But over and above wanting the regime to change, because as I said, after 5 years, if there's no indication that this the regime has any capacity to propel the country forward in any way, they're just looting is all we're seeing, and the country is regressing. But above all else, the NSAS protest is an existential protest for the average Nigerian. They are fighting for a right to live. So that right to be alive first is the thing that they would like, before they then concentrate then on good governance, etc. Because now this guy, now that the 30,000 naira guy, he's now at the point now that he cannot, it is an impossibility for him to survive on that wage. Is he going to farm out his daughters to prostitution and look the other way? Is he going to take a gun and start to rob? And if he becomes an armed robber, you gun him down. Even when he's not an armed robber, getting on that downfall to get to his office is a Russian roulette with his life, because of course the police will waylay that downfall, and anybody that looks well dressed, they'll bring him down, beat him up, and empty his pocket. How many beatings is this guy going to take in the course of leaving his home to go to work? So this is where it is, and this is the stage that Galadima is referencing when he says these people are burying their head in the sand like an ostrich, pretending that there's nothing happening, when the whole country is groaning under the weight of mismanagement and a draconian sort of a style of governance. Conversations in the comment section. Galadima has spoken. Now what says you? Come share thoughts. This is one that I would really like to engage with you guys on. So really come comment in the comment section. Let me know what you're making of this thing that Galadima has said. I align myself with Galadima's comment, because of course I too am of the view that these people, they are spoiling for a war. They've been preparing for this for a very long time. When Buhari appoints all of his people as the head of the army, the head of the police, etc., etc., then of course you already know that they're strategizing for this moment. But that moment is now coming, and the first salvo of that moment, of course, is the NSAS movement. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then. Buhari is setting the stage for a revolution, says Galadima. What says you? So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So we're back in Lagos again, and we're back at Lekki, the toll gate. So now there's been a panel constituted to look into the events that happened on that fateful October Tuesday, when the army came calling and the protesters were there at the toll gate. So as part of the offshoots of that, the elites within Lagos State are now calling for a complete dissolution, a complete removal of that toll gate. So all of that is detailed in this upcoming video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, there was a scene in Chinua Achebe's excellent award-winning book, A Man of the People, where a crowd was gathered in front of a shop, railing against the shop owner. Then someone came along and asked the crowd, what was going on? What's the commotion all about? And the crowd replied, he has taken enough, that is the shop owner, he has taken enough for the owners to see. So he has taken enough for the owners to see. As guys, I bring you this. Prominent Lagosians seek dissolution of Lekki Toll Gate. So Tinubu has taken enough now for the owners to see within the Lagos state space, to the point that the elites of that particular community are now calling for a shutdown on his cash cow, which is of course the Lekki Toll Gate. Again, the headline, prominent Lagosians seek dissolution of Lekki Toll Gate. So now let's now see how this is detailed. Some prominent Lagosians, including Chief Alaba Williams, Bashorun Jaye Randall, Adedosumu, and Chief Adesumbo Onitiri, have urged immediate scrapping of Lekki Toll Gate to alleviate the economic burden of residents and ease free flow of traffic in the area. In a 12-point communique issued after their maiden meeting, the concerned citizens also urged prosecution of arsonists and hoodlums behind destruction of public and private property in the state as deterrent to others. The gathering, which identified remote and immediate causes of the crisis to include high graduate unemployment and influx of people from other states, deplored alleged meddlesomeness by the political class in the selection of traditional rulers. Meanwhile, Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Mr. Mudashiru Obasa, has said that the aftermath of the recent hashtag EndSARS protest across the country devastated the economy of Lagos State. Obasa, who spoke during the presentation of the 2021 appropriation bill by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the Assembly yesterday, said the devastating effects of the destructions that followed the protest in the state were beyond imagination. According to him, the anarchy, burning and looting of businesses have hit the economy with a blow beneath the belt. In a related development, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde yesterday inaugurated an 11-man judicial panel of inquiry to investigate human rights violation, police brutality, and extrajudicial killing. The panel comprised Justice Adeniji Chairman, Professor Akintayo, Mrs. Adetoye, Nasil Suleiman, Mary Babatunde Oduyoye, Mrs. Miriam Badmos, and so on and so forth. Makinde, who inaugurated the panel at the State Executive Council Chambers, Governor's Office, Ibadan, said the state government took time before constituting the panel to ensure quality representation and clarity of cases the panel would handle. He said over 50 petitions had been received and implored other residents who might have issues of human rights violations, police brutality, and extrajudicial killings to seek redress with the panel. So that is just the by of the narrative, but the main thrust of it really is this position now taken by prominent names within Lagos State to say to Tinubu that you have taken enough for the owners to see. So that Lekki Toll Gate, by the way, which is run by Tinubu, because of course the company that runs that toll gate, the chairperson, the owner of that company is Tinubu's son, so effectively a proxy, and that company really belongs to Tinubu. The concession, of course, was made during Tinubu's era as governor. So now that facility has been taking about 4 to 5 billion naira a month. So imagine that 4 to 5 billion naira a month, and this is just me guesstimating because I had the figures but I don't have them to hand, but it's broadly roughly about 4 to 5 billion naira a month. So can you imagine that sort of a money? We're talking what, 40 to 50 billion naira a year or more. You know, you do the math. But certainly eye-watering amount of money that this guy is just pocketing. So if they are saying they want to recover the money that they used to build that bridge, then that money should have been recovered by now. So it is now effectively a business now, what is effectively a public service. So imagine wherever you are, that to drive from your house to the shops, you have to pay a toll on the road. Imagine them paying that toll at every point that the road intersects, to pay another toll and then to pay another toll. Imagine if that was the case, because I don't see why a link bridge, a small link bridge in Lekki, should then become this epic thing that somebody has to pay an entry fee for, as though you were going to the theater or to the movies or something. But then, of course, this is the milking of Lagos State, as we see. Third Mainland Bridge, you can pass for free, but Lekki Toll Gate, you have to pay to go through. So that Lekki Toll Gate, of course, was built, I think, under Tinubu, and everything that was built by Lagos State under Tinubu was built essentially for Tinubu to make a profit. So this profiteering now has now led to that point where names as eminent, because you don't get more eminent a name in Lagos State than Randall and Dosumu. I mean, there's no name more Lagos than Dosumu. And by the way, the Tinubu himself, I think everybody knows that it's not from Lagos State, it's from Ogun State. So a foreigner now that has come into the state has taken charge of the state to the point that is now taxing the people of that state for free movement within their own state. This is the narrative of Lagos State now. And not only is it taxing the people of Lagos State for free movement within their state, he has now elevated his arrogance of impunity to the level that is now appointing Obas, traditional rulers, in Lagos State for Lagosians. A foreigner, by the way, because I think everybody is now clear of the understanding, that Tinubu is not from Lagos State. So this audacity now is now what the leading names of Lagos State are now calling to order. Chief Alaba Williams, Bashorun Jaye Rando, Adedosumo, and Chief Adesumbo Onitiri. So you don't, I mean, look at those names: Williams, Rando, Dosumo, and Onitiri. You only need a Portuguese sounding name to add to that, and then that is all of Lagos for you, because of course you know that Lagos has a lot of Portuguese sounding names as part of their history, Da Costa and all that kind of thing. So these people are now saying enough is enough. You have taken enough for the owners to see. So now you now pack your bags and leave. And by the way, that Lekki toll gate, those toll booths should be brought down immediately as a marker of the incident that happened on the 20th of October, because nobody can in any conscience continue to tax that road, to toll that road after what happened at Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October. It just, even Nigeria can't have that level of cruelty, and Tinubu even himself cannot have that level of greed, or can he? Conversations in the comment section. You have taken enough for the owners to see is the message of Lagosians to Tinubu, the man from Ogun State, who has now seized charge of their states. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. You have taken enough to for the owners to see. You have taken enough for the owners to see. What says you? Come share thoughts. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So next we're going to the Nigerian currency, the Naira. Now, a lot of you may or may not have noticed, you would have noticed, but you may not have paid attention to the fact that there are Arabic letterings on the Nigerian currency. So this is, of course, quite confusing, because Arabic is not a spoken language within any of the nationalities that make up the Nigerian nation. So a lawyer from the East has found this so confusing that he has taken to law to have this addressed. So all of that is detailed in this next video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, this is a matter that at least a good 80% of the southern space of Nigeria, of the Nigerian southerners, have been contending with for a very long time. This is something that a lot of us have an issue with. Guys, I bring you this. Arabic inscriptions on Naira has nothing to do with Nigeria's secular status, a headline attributed to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, ever since I have grown up enough to understand anything, there has always been Arabic inscriptions on the Nigerian currency. So now, why is this? There is no Arabic speaking part of Nigeria. There is no part of Nigeria that the Arabic language is indigenous to. So why then would you have the Arabic language as the bold face of the Nigerian currency? Again, the headline, Arabic inscription on Naira has nothing to do with Nigeria's secular status, a headline attributed to the Central Bank of Nigeria. So now let's now see how this is explained. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) on Tuesday responded to a suit filed by a Lagos-based lawyer, Chief Malcolm Omirobo, at the Federal High Court Lagos, seeking the removal of the Arabic inscriptions on Naira notes as it portrays the country as an Islamic state. In opposing the suit, which is before Justice Mohammed Liman, the Apex Bank contended that the Arabic inscription do not threaten Nigeria's constitutional status as a secular state. In the suit, Omirobo had argued that he does not know what the inscription means and is therefore praying the court to order the Central Bank of Nigeria to replace them with either the English language, which is the official language in Nigeria, or any of Nigeria's three main indigenous languages, Hausa, Yoruba, or Igbo. The lawyer added that with the Arabic inscription on the Naira note, the Central Bank of Nigeria has been violating Section 10 and 55 of the Nigerian Constitution, which makes the country a secular state. He therefore asked the court to restrain the Central Bank from further approving, printing, or issuing Naira notes with Islamic inscriptions. Bearing in mind, Nigeria is a secular state, but in a counter affidavit in opposition to the suit deposed to the Apex Bank through its lawyer Abiola Lawal, the Central Bank of Nigeria maintained that contrary to Omirobo's claim, the Ajamni inscription on some of the country's currencies do not connote any religious statement or Arabian alignment, adding that the inscription were not a threat to Nigeria's secular status. The inscription on the country's currency do not and at no time threaten the secular statehood of the nation, nor have they violated the Constitution of Nigeria, as every design and inscription was finalized with the approval of the relevant government bodies, the Central Bank of Nigeria said. The Apex Bank stressed that the inscription on the Naira notes dated back to the colonial era, and they do not imply that Arabic is an official language in Nigeria. The Naira notes have retained the inscription with the Ajami inscriptions since 1973, when the name of the Nigerian currency was changed to Naira from pounds. The Ajami was inscribed on the country's currency by the colonialists to aid those without Western education in certain parts of the country, who back then constituted a larger part of the populace. The Ajami is not a symbol or mark of Islam, but an inscription to aid the populace uneducated in Western education in ease of trade. So now there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They are telling us now that the Arabic language is not in fact an Arabic language, even though the inscription is in Arabic, but it is not essentially an Arabic language, and therefore it cannot be aligned to any religion. This is what they're saying to us, and they're also saying that they have these inscriptions on there for the people of certain regions to be able to recognize the currency and its value. This is the explanation that the Central Bank of Nigeria is giving us for having Arabic inscriptions, because they are Arabic inscriptions on the Naira note. So this is what they are saying. I didn't even know what Ajami is, but I do know that now. Well, I don't know, but I'm aware of the word. But this is what they are saying. So let's just see how that stands up to logic. So they are using a language from foreign shores that are hundreds of miles away, if not thousands of miles away, to describe a currency to people that you're saying are not educated. So you're saying they are not educated in Western education, so they must then be educated by this inscription that you have now in Arabic education, for you to have Arabic inscriptions on the currency. So now, if you are saying it's for this population who do not recognize English words, then of course they must have a language that is peculiar to them. So that language then that is peculiar to them is what this gentleman now, this Omoribo, is asking now that foreign language, Arabic language, be changed to. So I can align myself with that completely, because of course Nigeria is not an Arabian country, nor is it an Arabic speaking country. And even though Arabic is spoken in certain parts of the country, it is most definitely not an Arabian country. So we have plentiful languages within the Nigerian space, and a lot of these people that were not educated in Western education, they should be educated by now, because we have been going for 60 years under that system of a Western English-speaking education. So they should be educated by now, because it doesn't take 60 years to teach anybody how to understand basic rudiments of the English language. So that's the one thing. But if you are insisting that these people do not understand the English language, then this gentleman, this lawyer from Lagos, has preferred a more reasonable solution, that you write in their own language of choice, their own native language, whatever descriptions you want to attach to the Naira note. So write it in Hausa for them so that they understand it. Even write it in Wazobia, write it in Hausa, write it in Yoruba, and write it in Igbo, but definitely not in Arabic, because as I said, and as the gentleman is saying in court, that Nigeria is not an Arabic speaking country. We are not an Arabic speaking country. Arabic is neither the official language of the country, nor is it a language that is native to any part of the country. So why would the first phase of the country, because your currency is your first phase, if you think of America, you think of the dollar. If you think of United Kingdom, you think of the pound. If you think of Germany, you think of the euro, etc., etc. If you think of China, you think of the yen. So the public face of your country is your currency. Then how can then our public face as Nigerians, West Africans, black people, how can our public face be described in Arabian language? It doesn't align, and it doesn't line up, because the Arabic language is a language predominantly for religion, and it's a subsect language, well, at least within the Nigerian space. Of course, the Arabic language is the language for the Arabians, and that is how they used to communicate. But within the Nigerian superstructure, the Arabic language is predominantly for religion, and is spoken by a subset of the society. So you cannot then use that as the bold face, as the public face of the country's currency. This is where the argument is. Conversations in the comment section, the lawyer in Lagos has taken a position on something that we all have a thought on. Come share your thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. Come tell me what your understanding is of having Arabic as the official wordings, the letterings of the Nigerian currency. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So we're rounding this off in the east and we're visiting Rivers State. Governor Wike we're going to, and the governor of that state, Yemsom Wike, is in an ongoing battle now with the IPOB movement and their leader Nnamdi Kanu. And as part of the offshoot of that battle, he is now stating categorically that he, Yemsom Wike, and his people of his own state are not actually Igbo people. So he details all of that in this now final video. So enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the beat goes on, or should I say the battle goes on, as the never-ending saga between the governor of River State, Yemsom Wike, on the one hand, and Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB movement, and the entirety of the Igbo people on the other hand. As guys, I bring you this IPOB saga, I am not Igbo, Wike opens up, gives reasons. So that's the headline that we are contending with. Yemsom Wike has finally come out to completely distance himself from the Igbo people. As again, IPOP saga, I am not Igbo, Wike opens up, gives reasons. So now let's now see what those reasons are. The governor of Rivers State, Yemsim Ezeboawo Wike, has denied any links to the Igbos, one of the major ethnic groups in the state. Wike, in a recent interview, disclosed that he belongs to the Ekwere ethnic group from Rume Pirikon in Obia Akpo area of the state. In reaction to the wanton killings of security operatives in the state, allegedly perpetrated by members of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, a successionist group, Mr. Wike proscribed the group's activities in the state. However, the World Igbo Congress WIC and some other groups condemned the governor for issuing an executive order that allegedly instigated mass killing of people from the ethnic nationality in Oyigbo and Port Harcourt areas of Rivers State. The governor has vehemently denied the allegations. Meanwhile, in an interview with veteran journalist Dele Mamudu, Wike responded to insinuations that is of Igbo extraction. I am not. You see, people must understand things. We are from the eastern part of the country. Nobody can deny that. People interpret my name as Wike, that's W-E-E-K-E-Y. It means a newborn. They said Wike means a strong person. I don't care. Assuming I am Igbo, as they said, so I should allow criminals in Igbo land to kill people. I should do that, and he ends that with a question mark. My name is Ezebonwo. Now, nobody can deny the fact of our affinity with the Igbos. Nobody can. Take, for example, in Benin, there is Apata in Edo and Apata in Yoruba. Are you now saying that Apata in Edo is the same as the one in Yoruba? No, they may have a relationship, but that does not mean you are one of them. People, when they want to do something, assuming I am an Igbo, although not conceding, I am now River State. So, because I am an Igbo in River State, I should allow criminals from my area, Igbo, like they say, to kill security agents. Is that what they say? I am not one politician who will change his identity. I will not change my identity. I will not. People should understand that there is a difference between the Apata in Edo and the Apata in the West. After all, there is no one that said they came to this world on their own. He further stated that he has nothing against the Igbos. I have nothing against the Igbos. I have lived with them. They are good people. They are entrepreneurial, but that does not mean I will change. I cannot do that. So now Yemsom Wike totally distancing himself, of course, from the Igbo people, and he cites the example of Apata or Apata and Apata. But then, of course, the Benins, he used the wrong example by my reckoning, because you see, the Benins and the Yorubas are near enough the same people. He said Akpata and Akpata, but then if you go to Benin land, you hear people bearing the name Femi, etc., all manners of Yoruba name. So the evolution of the Yoruba race and the evolution of the Benis are interlinked. Any Benin person will tell you that they founded the Yoruba race, and any Yoruba person will tell you that the Benins, they're a subsect of the Yoruba race. So, or the Yoruba people keep getting offended when I refer to the Yoruba people as a race. So the Yoruba people, then we term them as. So that interlink is already fully established, near enough that it is not an offense, I don't imagine, to a Benin person if you describe them as a Yoruba person, because that is not an insult. A Yoruba person is an upstanding person, and who would not want to be a Yoruba person? So that is not something to take offense to, but it seems to particularly irk this Yemsen Wike that people are mistaking him for an Igbo person, to the point that he has charted the trajectory of his lineage to distance himself from the Igbo people. And he kept on emphasizing and re-emphasizing that he does not hate Igbo people, which then leads you, of course, to the conclusion that he in fact does hate the Igbo people, because he is protesting too much. And when people protest that vehemently, then really they are trying to distance from an instinct that is fundamentally innate within them. So an Igbo hater he is, of course. I think any Igbo person will say that to you, but is he Igbo or not is the question. And the broader question is River State part of Igbo land? This is now a space of discussion, a topic of debate that is now opening up off the back of this now beef, this minor beef that is going on between Yemsen Wike and Nnamdi Kanu especially, and IPOB by extension, but the Igbo people now in totality. So now what constitutes an Igbo person, and the people from River State? Igbo people indeed is the south part of Igbo land is really where the question is. So there are two elements to this. One, or several elements really. One, Yemsen Wike there distancing himself from the Igbo people. So that's the first element. The second element is the suggestion, the insinuation within his pronouncements that the Igbo people are constituting themselves into a nuisance within his state. So that's the second element. But the broader question is, who exactly is the Igbo person? This is really where the question is. Who exactly is the Igbo person? So we're assuming that people from Imo, Anambra, etc., Igbo people, those are the two states that I can just tell you off the top of my head. So Imo, Anambra, but which other states within the Nigerian space is considered an Igbo state? So this is really where the question is, and who by extension is an Igbo person, because of course the argument that Yemsen Wike is presenting is that because there's a large Igbo population within River State does not automatically make River State an Igbo state or Igbo land, and that logic also applies to Lagos, Abuja, etc. There's a large population of Igbo people as everyone else within Lagos space, but that doesn't then make Lagos an Igbo state or Abuja an Igbo space. So what constitutes an Igbo space, one, and who more importantly is that Igbo person? What is the identifying characteristics and the criteria that qualifies you to be an Igbo man? This is the broader question that Yemsen Wike has opened up with his beef with the Igbo people, and the answers I am asking you to come and discuss in the comment section. But before you come to the comment section to discuss, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Who is the Igbo person is the question. I await your answers in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope you enjoyed all of the selections for this week. So now come into the comment section, come tell me what you have made of the selections for this week. Did you like them all? Did you especially like one? Do you have an opinion on any or all of them? Come share all of that with me in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. Come tell me what you have made of this week in the news. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace.